Pre-time skip and post-time skip One Piece are completely different animes. Well, it's like one anime, it's still One Piece, but you get what I mean. When comparing the two, there is one distinguishing difference. Okay, maybe there's more, but the distinguishing difference I was talking about is, one is significantly more lighthearted. Pre-time skip One Piece is funnier, with more comedy in it. In fact, I'd say pre-time skip is as much as a comedy as it is an action. Some of the funny scenes from all of anime come from the time between Romance Dawn till arcs such as Enies Lobby. Examples of this include Luffy's insults in the chopper dance, and unfortunately I cannot include Luffy vs. Zombie, as it was a very serious battle that deserves to be praised. Regardless, following the time skip, everything changed. One Piece had a lot more dark subjects in it, and it began to touch on things like drugs, racism, and whatever this was. Arcs such as Dressrosa and Wano are infinitely more dark than arcs to mirrors such as Alabasta and Alabasta. I'm sorry, I don't know what else mirrors. Anyways, my small brain has conjured up 4 reasons for why One Piece got so dark post-time skip, so enjoy, and sub if you want and shit. The first reason is that donuts were made. Ace's death has been trolled on a lot by me. But it did have massive effects for One Piece. Before that though, let's talk about the war. While Marineford has been called the greatest arc of all time and is definitely a fan favorite, it is also extremely dark. I mean, all people, except Americans, can see why a war is bad and how it has massive effects. The war arc was the first time we saw actual death in One Piece. It's the first time us as fans knew people were going to die. We saw horrible things occur during the war, which is, common during war. But it all climaxed during Ace's donification. The entire war we saw countless deaths and the brutality of the world of One Piece, but none of it truly affected fans. Us as fans were focused on Luffy's journey to save Ace, causing us to ignore the countless amount of deaths that occurred in the background, like true Americans. Ace's death was the first time us as fans saw death. It was also the first time we saw Luffy actually lose someone. Side note, while yes, Kuma splitting the crew apart also caused Luffy to lose someone, this is the first time we saw him actually witness death. We always knew he'd reunite with his crew. Ace's death was Luffy's first time witnessing death, and seeing someone die whom he actually loved, causing him to break. He literally just broke. He stopped working. Ace's death in the war shifted the tone of One Piece because it set up the stage for more darker arcs to occur. Us as fans knew One Piece wasn't scared of talking about extremely dark things, and that One Piece could be insanely dark. We also realized that Oda wasn't scared of talking about death, and that anyone we know could die. Before we realized it's still One Piece and Oda hates killing characters. The second reason for why One Piece is cosplaying Berserk is that One Piece is becoming more focused on the plot. And by plot, I mean Luffy's journey to become Pirate King. Becoming Pirate King is no small task, and Oda has to cover a lot of steps to get there, such as fighting Yonkos, something that doesn't allow for much humor. The Yonko saga has been building up towards the eventual fight against the Yonkos, something that requires a lot of focus on actual content. While Oda still manages to sneak in comedy, because he's a god author, most of it is focused on the actual story of Luffy trying to defeat the Yonkos. Fighting against literal Yonkos, unfortunately, doesn't leave much time for comedy. The journey to become Pirate King is hard and long, and you know what else is hard and long? I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. It's clear that post-time skip at One Piece has begun to narrow down on the end goal of becoming Pirate King, which involves going through difficult things, making it hard for Oda to include comedy. The entire tone of the show shifted after the time skip, from a wholesome adventure to the crew to, oh shit, we're going for the One Piece. This coincidentally, it's not a coincidence, I wrote it this way, please praise me in the comment section, leads into my next reason, the New World. The New World, since the first time it's been mentioned, has been hyped up as a dangerous, free-for-all area where most pirates go to die. It's a rough area to survive, ruled by the four fingers known as the Yonko. As the crew entered the New World, it's clear that the piece as a story had to shift its theme to match its location. We no longer had the fun arcs of pre-time skip like this one, or, well, this guy. You know, as much as it hurts to say, he was pretty funny. Instead, after the time skip, we had this arc, or, well, this guy. You get what I mean. The New World changed a lot for the crew. The islands got tougher, the enemies got stronger, and well, everything just got a lot tougher. One Piece had to match this mood and become more serious because the crew could no longer hang out and have a chill time. They had to fight for their life every day in the New World, making comedy hard to integrate. Oda was just matching the mood of the location. My final reason is a hard one, and it is failure. And no, I'm not talking about Foxy, I mean it in the literal sense. The crew failed before the time skip. Each of them felt a burden and a sense of guilt for what happened to Ace, as they weren't there for Luffy. They all messed up and weren't there for the captain when he needed it most. Luffy also failed to be there for his crew against Kuma and to be there for his brother during the war. The entire crew was fresh off of failure, so the tone of the show was clearly dark. It's pretty hard to ignore the fact that you weren't there for someone when they needed it most. The feeling that you let them down, the feeling that you lost. So much for this promise, Zoro. Overall, this is why One Piece got so dark after the time skip. It lost its happy mood and the tone of the show shifted, and while I made it seem like a negative thing, it isn't actually all that bad. Oda still manages to ever so often sprinkle in comedy, and the crew still manages to make you feel good. Even when they go through so much, they still manage to smile. Also, the mood shift that caused a decline in comedy caused an increase in action. The fights got better, the storytelling got much better, and as Oda focused less on comedy, his ability to actually write the story got better. He became a much better storyteller, and One Piece as a whole got a lot better. Now, I'm not saying it's the comedy that made the show bad, because it isn't, and there are a lot of other factors factors to why Oda got so good, but maybe it isn't that negative that One Piece got sadder. But then again, it's hard to not miss times like this. Overall though, that's it for me.